FDM print versus resin print. Which one will make a better 3D printed lamp? I tested this by printing my latest design both at home and through JLC3DP's high-resolution resin service. Here's how it turned out. I'm Jackson Moon, and this is a Dead Moon Designs project. Here's my setup. I have my Bambu Lab A1 inside a Unitac 3D enclosure. Most of my models are sculpted from scratch in Blender, printed in PLA or PETG, and tested in-house before I release them. For the flame diffuser, I used the Solidify modifier to give the sculpt a printable wall thickness. It's a clean way to hollow out organic shapes without manually modeling the interior. But I did run into a weird issue when I tried to open up the bottom. I generated a cube and resized it so that I could then use the Boolean modifier to open up the bottom of the flame. When I would try to apply the modifier, the entire flame would just disappear. It turns out that this was caused by the exact solver being overly sensitive to the geometry. The fix was fairly simple. I switched the Boolean modifier solver from exact to fast, and that made it work instantly. After that, I adjusted the thickness to about 1.2 millimeters, and the flame was ready for slicing. I love this part of the process, when a sculpt becomes something printable. It's one thing to model a flame, but getting it to light up, glow, and physically exist, that's where the magic hits. The Arcane flame is a two-part lamp. The top piece is printed in translucent PETG, no supports required. The walls are thin enough to let light through while staying structurally sound. The base prints in matte black PLA and includes a clean internal cable channel. The flame light diffuser rests securely by simply setting it atop the base. Assembly takes seconds. Any LED puck or fairy light strip will work. The final result is a compact lamp with strong contrast and glow. To compare FDM and resin print quality, I ordered the base through JLC CNC, JLC's custom CNC and 3D printing division. Their site is pretty straightforward. I uploaded my STL, selected a resin material, and placed my order. You can choose from multiple resin types. I went with their black resin option. New users get access to coupons, which can cover a large portion, if not all, of the printing cost. Once ordered, the part shipped in just a few days. The result? Flawless detail with no visible layer lines and no cleanup required. Here's the side-by-side comparison. Let's do an honest side-by-side comparison of the two lamp bases. Here's the FDM printed one. Good enough for home display, but you can definitely see those layer lines on the bottom. And here's the resin printed one. This one is good enough for display at an event or something that I would show off to a client. It is absolutely flawless, and a big shout out to JLC for getting this to me quickly and of a higher quality than I expected. I knew that the resin print was going to be nicer, but not this much nicer. I just love that sheen that it has. The FDM version looked good, clean and functional, but the JLC resin version feels like a finished product. The smooth surface texture, lack of layer lines, and overall finish are noticeably better. JLC CNC also offers CNC machining and PCB manufacturing, so if you're building electronics or prototyping mechanical parts, they've got you covered. The Arcane flame was designed to be clean and accessible. No supports, no post-processing. Just two parts that fit together and light up. You can download the files for free on Printables and MakerWorld. The post includes both STL and 3MF files for your convenience. For the flame, I recommend using a translucent PETG or similar light diffusing filament. For the base, any dark filament works. I used a 0.2mm layer height, 2 walls, and no supports. It's a small project, but a good one to test the jump from hobby print to pro-grade finish. This test gave me a clearer view of what resin outsourcing can offer, especially for creators without resin printers or those looking to sell, gift, or display a polished version of their work. Big thanks to JLC CNC for helping bring this piece to life. If you want to try it yourself, download the files below, and consider having your own version printed through JLC's resin service. I've got more models on the way, so follow Dead Moon Designs for updates and future builds.